All right, ladies and gentlemen, totally enjoyed the show, guys. Now, guys, I was watching a video on TikTok, all right? I love TikTok because it really gives, like, some of these ideas that you see people do, you just feel like, my God, like, these are incredible ideas. You just think, my God, like, never would have thought of that, didn't even know that was happening, didn't know this is like a really big deal or whatever until you hear about it. And then you're like, yeah, that makes sense. It really does. So I was watching a video on this guy saying that he was being harassed and that women are not the only victims in this world, in this patriarchal society. And then some other guy was like, okay, have you been in a back alley where you don't feel safe because somebody might attack you? Have you been in a situation where you get asked out by someone and they basically force you to go out with them and you have no say in it, right? Have you been in a situation where you get less pay for what you do for work, even though you're working the same amount of hours and you're doing the same kind of level of skill and all that, right? So really, men, I'm Marco normally, have privileges that women don't have, right? And it's all men. I don't think any man is excluded from that. So, some men definitely don't get treated with respect, but I mean, basically men are able to do what they want when they want. These are stronger men. Some men are very fragile and they're unable to do the same things. But men that are strong are not really, and maybe some men that are strong but may not look strong. You don't have to be good looking, but just strong, right? So if you're a strong man, young man, or a strong older man, you're not going to really worry about these things. You're not going to have to worry about these things that women tend to have to worry about a lot more. Now, there are some women that are very strong. They don't have to worry about that. But in general, a man will have a lot more privileges than a woman. I mean, if you see a guy and you think, oh, he's a victim, how often is that? Like Johnny Depp was a victim in his relationship. Really, really rare, right? Especially for a celebrity that looks that strong and good looking. It's super rare, but it does happen, right? So we can't say it doesn't ever happen. But the point of it is, to be a man and say you're worried about being attacked by someone that wants to date you or whatever, and it doesn't, like, don't believe it doesn't ever happen, but it does happen, but it's a lot less common than women dealing with these things, right? So this guy was like trying to put this guy in his place. He's like, okay, how are you harassed? You can't be harassed as much as women. There's a lot of this with women. It's a lot more common, very prevalent, and it just happens quite a bit. So, and like women in relationships too. The domestic violence is always not always there, but it's there a lot of times, right? There's a lot of domestic abuse, and most of the time women are the targets. So, it really is something that you have to, you kind of have to really be. Sorry, guys. You kind of have to really be a strong woman because a lot of women deal with constant abuse, right? And these are women that you see every day. These are women that you are witnessing all the time, just walking down the street, whatever, or women that and you're like, really? Like for me, my wife, I never abused her. I am in an open marriage, but I don't really, if I date a woman or a man, it's up to me. I can control that. My wife is very good to me, but I've never hit her once. I don't yell at her. I'm very good to her, right? So it's not like we have this relationship that's toxic or horrible. It's very good, So I just don't understand the philosophy of domestic abuse. I mean, I've seen it in people that I've known. I've seen it in people very close to me, but I just never understood it. Now, I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs. I don't drink coffee. I don't smoke. I don't drink Pepsi. So, I mean, I'm very rare. My mind is totally sharp. I'm very strong. I'm a very strong guy. I don't really think too much about this, but I really think, when you see that and you see the fact that some people do drugs, whatever, if a guy is doing drugs, he's going to more likely abuse his wife or a guy if he's dating him. No, mostly that happens between man and woman. But, you know what I mean? So if I don't do any of those things, I really can't understand the philosophy of domestic abuse. I just don't get it. Now, there's people in my life that I know that are not domestically abusing each other, and they're so supportive and they're so close. I've got this one couple in mind that I know of in my family that's like so close. They're like so close to each other. They're like the perfect couple, and I'm like, oh my God. But And that's a really good example for me. But yeah, so anyway, I really feel, that it's not something that like for me, I've never understood it. I just never understood why would you go out of like the person that you supposedly love, the person that you want to be with forever, the person that you're having the most fun with, the person that you have enough people to deal with that you don't like. Why would you not like your partner? Why would you abuse your partner? I just never understood that philosophy. Anyway, guys, I mean, I just don't know what people are doing, why they do that. But anyway, bye, guys. Thank you.